Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dig into the real psychology of discipline. And trust me, it goes way deeper than just willpower. It's all about the hard choices we're secretly trying to escape.
You know the drill, right? You start January with all this energy, you're ready to change, ready to build these amazing new habits, and then just a few weeks later, poof, you're right back where you started. It's so frustrating. But what if it's not about being lazy? What if it's about something much deeper going on inside our own heads?
And we all know what failure feels like. It looks a lot like this: putting off that big project, being super inconsistent with your workouts, that routine you built just falls apart, or you just feel totally unmotivated. These are the classic signs, right? The symptoms that tell us our discipline is crumbling.
But here's the big twist. All of those things, the procrastination, the inconsistency, all of it, they aren't the actual disease.
Nope, they're just the symptoms. The real root cause, the reason we give up, is because on some level we are actively choosing to escape something we find difficult.
And it turns out, it really boils down to three fundamental things that we, as humans, are almost always trying to run away from.
So, escape number one. This is a big one. It's escaping the sheer weight of our own responsibility. It's about whether we act on the world or just let the world act on us.
And this really splits into two different ways of seeing the world. The reactive person, the reactor, feels like a victim. Life just happens to them. It's always someone else's fault. But the proactive person, the actor, they take a different approach. They know they can't control everything, but they own what they can control. They believe their choices actually shape their future.
Proactive people operate inside what we call the circle of influence. They pour all their energy into things they can actually change: their actions, their attitude, their effort. And you know what happens? That circle, their power, it starts to grow. Reactive people, they live outside the circle, obsessing over politics, the weather, what other people think, things they have zero control over. And the more they do that, the smaller their own power feels. See, escaping responsibility seems easier, but it just shrinks your world.
Okay, let's get into the second escape. And, this one might be the toughest to swallow. We're constantly running from the pain of the truth, especially the truth about ourselves. The thing is, we're amazing at lying, especially to ourselves. We can twist and bend reality to create these little stories, these justifications, so we don't have to face uncomfortable truths about our own choices. It's a defense mechanism for sure, but man, does it keep us stuck.
And there's this incredible metaphor for this state of mind. It's called the box. We trap ourselves in the box at the exact moment we go against our own inner sense of what's right. And once we're in there, our whole perception of the world gets warped. So how does this actually happen? Well, it's a four-step process, and it's kind of scary how logical it is. It starts with an impulse, that feeling you should do the right thing, like help someone. But then, step 2, you betray it. You choose not to. Then, almost instantly, step 3, you have to justify it. You invent a reason, like, I'm too busy, or they probably don't need help anyway. And that leads to step 4, distortion. Suddenly, the other person isn't a person in need, they're an inconvenience. You're in the box. All just to feel okay about not doing what you knew was right.
This daily battle between truth and self-deception, it really brings to mind that classic scene from The Matrix. It's a choice that we face constantly, in dozens of tiny moments every single day.
So on one hand, you've got the blue pill. That's choosing to stay in the box. It's the comfort of illusion, of justifying why you didn't do the hard thing. But the red pill is discipline. It's choosing to face the painful, uncomfortable truth that you are responsible. It's harder, for sure, but that's where all your power is.
So, I want you to really think about this for a second. When you choose to scroll on your phone instead of doing the work, when you make an excuse instead of just taking action, which pill is that? Which one are you choosing moment to moment? And that choice, that red pill, blue pill moment, it leads us right to our third and final escape: running away from who we really are and what truly motivates us.
When it comes to motivation, we basically operate in two modes. Away from motivation is when you're driven by fear or shame or anger. You work hard because you're terrified of being poor. You go to the gym because you hate the way you look. Now, this kind of motivation is like rocket fuel.
It's fast, it's powerful, but it leads to burnout and it leaves you feeling empty. Toward motivation is different. It's being pulled by something positive. You work hard because you want to build something amazing. You go to the gym because you love feeling strong. It's a slower, steadier burn for sure, but it leads to real, lasting fulfillment.
So, okay, we've looked at these three big escapes: running from responsibility, running from the truth, and running from our real selves. And when you put it all together, it really just boils down to one final, incredibly powerful choice that each of us has to make.
And here it is. This is the fundamental truth we often miss. There is no easy path. Choosing discipline, getting up early, doing the workout, having the tough conversation, that's hard. But you know what? Choosing to escape and living with the regret, the self-doubt, the what-ifs, that's hard too.
Both paths are hard. They both require you to endure something difficult. The only real difference is the destination. One leads to strength, to growth, to fulfillment. The other leads to a life of regret. So the final question is pretty simple. Which hard are you going to choose?